Econgalos, folks. Um, I'm gonna give you the first take, so I'm gonna run this right here and gloss it up.
That's my gratitude to the director of the Texas Department of Public Safety, Director McCraw, General Norris, who is the Adjutant General for the Texas National Guard. We have with us
Why are they wearing a
Judd,
mask, man?
the President of the National Border Patrol Council, and also
They're wearing the mask
because
because they're
public safety troopers, agents, Texas
criminals,
Rangers,
man.
and all the members of the National Guard who are involved
I mean,
in
anytime a
Operation
motherfucker's masking his
Lone
face
Star.
up, he's up to
And
no
I want
good.
to thank all of the Border Patrol agents who serve on the front lines every single day dealing with the challenges
And they
that
all
we
got a
see
hidden hand.
increasing along the border. And then finally, I want to thank local law enforcement. Local law enforcement has been working side by side with the Texas Department of Public Safety as they've been going about the process of responding to the challenges on the border. So the Biden administration's open border policies have created an open season for human traffickers, for drug smugglers, for cartels and gangs. These criminals are preying upon women and children, exposing them to abuse and to terror. Because the federal government is failing to act to respond to these dangers, Texas is stepping up to secure the border and to keep our communities safe. To achieve that goal, about a month ago, I launched what we have named Operation Lone Star. Operation
Is this-
Lone Star was launched
Is he really in?
with the purpose of
Is he really in
filling
Houston?
the
Somebody in
gaps
Houston, let me know what's
that are
going on
left
with this
open
right here.
as Border Patrol officers are busy, occupied with detaining the large number of people who are coming across.
Is that true?
And when Border Patrol officers are occupied with those detentions, it leaves wide swaths of sectors open for the cartels and drug smugglers, as well as in human smugglers, to be able to get people and drugs and contraband across the border.
Well, I mean, that's how they
Without
do it.
Operation Lone Star, those cartels and criminals would have open season to get across the border, whatever they wanted to get across the border. Because of Operation Lone Star, the numbers are staggering. What has been done just over the past almost month. Operation Lone Star effectively began on March the 4th, so less than a month ago. In 28 days, the Texas Department of Public Safety has made 598 criminal arrests.
Damn.
They've also made more than 16,000 referrals of illegal immigrants to Border Patrol.
16,000?
The math on this is the Department of Public Safety made more than 21 arrests per day of criminal arrests, and they made more than 571 referrals of illegal immigrants per day to the
Man.
Border Patrol. I want to give you just an idea of the type of arrests that the Texas Department of Public Safety has been involved in. In early March, one of the arrests involved a stash house in the Rio Grande Valley. While investigating the stash house, Department of Public Safety troopers and special agents discovered 4 illegal immigrants and a gang member. The gang member was wanted on 2 counts of rape of a child under the age of 13.
What?
On March the 8th, Department of Public Safety troopers made a traffic stop that resulted in the arrest of a man wanted for continuous sexual assault of a child. On March the 14th, troopers attempted to make a traffic stop that escalated into a pursuit. After the pursuit was done, and after stopping the vehicle, they discovered that the male driver was smuggling illegal immigrants, including a 14-year-old child who had been sexually assaulted. The driver also had child pornography on his phone. On March the 16th, the Department of Public Safety assisted the Border Patrol with several waves of illegal immigrants being smuggled on rafts. This included 217 illegal immigrants apprehended, including among that group 152 children.
Oh,
One of those children was a 6-month-old girl
Are you kidding me?
who was thrown into the river by smugglers. As Brendan Judd explained to me, there is a reason why smugglers and cartel members do things like throw a young child into the river. They know that when doing so, it will cause Border Patrol and Texas Department of Public Safety officers
Yes.
to focus on that child and to save that child. Like
You
what
better
they
believe
do.
that this motherfucker is.
When law enforcement is focused on saving a child,
I
that
mean,
opens the door to the opportunity.
I've been
for
out here a long
the drug
time, dude.
smugglers and the cartels to
There's some ugly shit
engage in
going
other
on,
crimes.
and
That's part of what happened.
he's telling some truth
To
here.
show you how
A bunch of it.
abusive these people are. There was a mother among the group who was stomped on by the cartels and broke her leg. And that woman was also helped by the Texas Department of Public Safety working alongside the Border Patrol. We have Trooper Woodard with us right here. Trooper Woodard with the Texas Department of Public Safety was the trooper who was involved in the rescuing of that child, as well as dealing with the mother who had a broken leg. Trooper, thank you for your service. So this is just a small sample of the dangerous criminals that the Texas Department of Public Safety is apprehending and the horrific abuse these criminals inflict on their victims. A concern that we have is how brazen and open the drug cartels are getting.
I mean, these fuckers
Trying
don't
to
move,
recruit
man.
people
They
in the
don't
state of
move, dude.
Texas to assist them in these crimes. I was provided these. I'm going to show you these two pictures if you can zoom in. These are two pictures from TikTok. And these are ads or videos and
What's
things
going
that are
on?
being run by cartels
Uh-huh.
on TikTok.
They gotta have
trying to
crash
recruit
test
people in
dummies, man.
Texas
They
to
do.
assist
They
them
really do.
commit their crime,
You better believe they have to have
promise
crash test
money.
dummies,
as well as other things.
and they do that.
And it's rare, I am told,
This fucking dude ain't
to
playing.
see the cartels open or operate that openly,
Well, I mean,
so that it could be seen by law enforcement. But you can be assured now, law enforcement will be following up, tracking down who these criminals are, and doing whatever needs to be done to make sure that these types of operations will be shut down.
well, those are just crash test dummies, man.
Bottom line is,
While you're fucking with them, they're gonna be doing what they're trying to
Operation
do.
Lone Star is doing everything they can to keep our community safe. But this problem is not going to be fixed until the Biden administration does its job to secure our border and to get this crisis.
So what has happened here? I'm
we will
failing to
have
follow how one man changing position is. I don't understand what the fuck happened.
Public safety is the protection of people from harm. When we talk about public safety in the department concerning the state of Texas,
I thought Trumper the Pumper put the wall up, but what happened?
that means all people in Texas. An unsecured border with Mexico resulted in corridors of crime is the bottom line. I mean, Mexican cartels is enemy number one. And throughout Texas and nation, these corridors, they bring cocaine, methamphetamine, marijuana, fentanyl.
Every damn
If
shit,
a drug
all of
that's
it.
marketable, the cartels have it. But importantly, people. When we say people, as the governor indicated, it's a commodity to them. They don't care. They'll throw a 6-month-old baby into the water. They just don't care. I mean, they will stash, they will starve, they'll beat, they'll rape, and they'll abandon these children. And so it's very important, and one of the things that the governor's number one priority is that when we fill these gaps, because make no mistake about it, when you put those many unaccompanied children and family units into one area, the Rio Grande Valley area, Border Patrol becomes overwhelmed. We saw it in 2014, we saw it in 2019, and we certainly see it right now. When that happens, it provides a great opportunity for cartels to move migrant children that are high valued, okay, that are moving towards the sex trafficking industry, as well as criminal aliens between the ports of entry. They're not trying to be interdicted, and they're trying to avoid apprehension. And they're available at that point. So it's important to be able to fill that particular gap, which we're doing right now. We're certainly proud to work with our brave.
What they're telling you
partners,
is these
as well
motherfuckers, they
as
plan that
local
shit
law
out.
enforcement.
to where
We're seeing
they
a lot of
bum
things
rush your
we've seen in the
ass,
past in
and
terms of
you
rape
can't handle the whole
from
shit, man.
smugglers and sitting on
You just
ranches
can't. They gonna
refusing
overrun
to
you.
leave and moving into areas, as well as carrying weapons on this side of the border, which is an unusual occurrence, and certainly.
And
we're
they got
concerned
crash
about
test
that.
dummies
Social
for it.
media, who would have
You know what I
thought?
mean?
They're
And
advertising for
if you
more
don't know what that
crime,
means,
more smugglers
I can't
from
help you,
San
man.
Antonio to Houston.
It's
We
pretty
didn't see
plain
that
simple.
before.
That means that
But
motherfucker
yet,
he's just a
billion-dollar
fucking walking
years
lick, man.
industry by organizations that we've never seen
He's
before,
a sacrifice.
Mexican cartels. There's
You know what I
nobody more
mean?
violent,
He don't.
more brings
And
more
none the wiser,
rage, and I'd say
because
more
he think he
cowardly
gonna
in
get
terms
this,
of
that, or
what they do when they
whatever.
kill
But he's a
Mexican
sacrificial lamb.
cartels. And they're enemy number one. They represent a
A
domestic
crash
security
test
threat
dummy.
to Mexico, and certainly a public safety threat for all of Texans, and I would argue the nation as well.
And they are
So,
dangerous.
thank
I
you,
mean,
Governor, for the opportunity to
because
be able to serve, and we're here to serve, and we're proud to protect and serve the state of Texas and work with our Border Patrol partners and certainly local law enforcement. Thank you.
Thank you. Among the other numbers that the Texas Department of Public Safety has achieved just over the less than 1 month, they through this operation have seized more than 14 pounds of cocaine, more than 23 firearms. They've arrested
That's
9 people who have been identified as members.
man,
of
I
gangs.
think this is
Seized
23
almost $1 million
guns out of
in
all that shit.
currency.
23 guns.
And so this is just the beginning of what is going to be an onslaught, unless and until the Biden administration steps up and does something about it. Next is the Adjutant General for the Texas National Guard, General Tracy Norris.
Thank you,
So-
sir. Sir, from the date you activated us on March 4th, within 5 days, we were activating the state active duty under the governor. Within 5 days, we had a number of observation posts and listening posts
Are they in
on
Texas?
the border in support of our Texas Department
It
of
ain't
Public
can't be that
Safety.
fucking cold
Our
in
role
Texas,
is to
man.
add eyes and ears to DPS as well as Customs and Border Protection in order to detect, identify, and recognize any activity, illegal activity that is going on, and call that into DPS and the Border Patrol and make it quicker for them to be able to
Problem.
react to where that event is.
Patrol or
Our
something.
soldiers are using multi-sensor systems that are able to detect, recognize, and identify that activity. And sir, again, our soldiers have been not
Sold
unfamiliar
ours?
with the border. They've been down here several times and supported DPS. And I just want to thank the employers of all our guardsmen and also the families that support our guardsmen. I want to thank them for all of that they've done the last couple of years.
Great point. Thanks indeed, but also thanks to the members of the Texas Military Branch for being down here. We appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Next we have Brandon Judd, the President of the National Border Patrol Council.
Governor, thank you. I appreciate you inviting me to be here. My name is Brandon Judd. I'm the President of the National Border Patrol Council. I operate largely in a political aspect, but I also put on a uniform, and I go out and I patrol the border to try to secure the safety and security of the American public. I will tell you that policies matter. Without policies, we will have the problems that we're seeing today. I want to thank the governor, first and foremost, for allowing Texas DPS, and I would call on the governors of our other border states, New Mexico, Arizona, and California, to also step up to the plate and assist in this issue. Problem is we wouldn't need governors like Governor Abbott if the federal government would do their job.
They don't.
Because policies matter, and if we continue down the road that we're going to continue to see these numbers increase, and the safety and security of the state of Texas will be threatened. And the safety and security
Everywhere.
of the entire country will also be
But
threatened.
I mean,
If we continue to allow people to cross our borders illegally, to be released into the United States pending a hearing sometime down the road, we're going to continue to see this problem rise. We must look for the solutions. And if the Biden administration wants to say that the Remain in Mexico program was inhumane, then he needs to look for a solution. You cannot get rid of a program that worked and was very effective and not replace it with something else. And that is, in fact, what the Biden administration did.
Okay.
There are solutions.
Appreciate
that
it,
can
dude.
be
That
had
I mean, that's
if we were to set up courts.
I got something to go on.
adjudicate
This guy's
these
fucking.
cases, then we would give relief
Hang on,
to those
I'm fucking it up,
individuals
dude.
that deserve relief. In fact, was very effective, and cannot get rid of a program that worked and was very effective and not replace it with something else, and that is, in fact, what the Biden administration did. There are solutions that can be had. If we were to set up courts to adjudicate these cases, then we would give relief to those individuals that deserve relief under U.S. law. We would also send back those individuals that are coming here to game the system, that never have an intent to leave this country, regardless of whether they receive an order of deportation. We can solve this issue and we can solve this problem. And by solving the problem, we can release Texas DPS to do the job that they were supposed to be set up for. But if we don't, then we're going to have to call on governors like Governor Abbott. And thank goodness Texas does have a governor that's willing to step up to the plate when the federal government fails. So again, Governor Abbott, I appreciate the time. I appreciate what you're doing and the resources you're devoting to an issue that you should not have to solve.
Thank you. And
Okay,
thanks
I'm gonna
to
put a
the-
little gloss on it right now because I'm seeing shit different than everybody else. I don't know. I mean, I don't know that I'm necessarily right or correct. Because I'm just one guy, you know, and I'm going from firsthand knowledge on everything what I'm talking about, and I'm not going to pretend like I'm, you know, like I ain't got all the damn titles and all of the damn accolades and, you know, shit what they put with these dudes here. I don't have all of that. I don't need all of that. Now, what was my man just trying to tell us? He was telling us that the federal government, they don't do their job, is what he said. He said that they're not, when they fail or when they come up short and they don't do it with, you know, he's intimating that they're supposed to be doing it. That's what I'm hearing. But what if that's just the smoke screen? Because the federal government ultimately wants you to discharge your fucking debt, man. And they really want to keep you can get an EIN number every damn day of the week. Every day. You can create you a character for every day. They don't, I mean, well, I take that back because they don't, you can't do it on the weekends. And they've shut it down at night. Like, they kind of like, they've kind of, I mean, they kind of are reeling it back a little bit. But even still, though, you can, I mean, 5 days a week, you can get an EIN. They ain't nobody stealing no social security number, man. I mean, they when they get here, they will give it to them. they want to open up. Hey, that's just another pagan. And that's what the federal government. That's how the federal government's operating. See, so it's no surprise to me that they're jaking around at the border down there, because every single one of them, they'll give them an EIN just as quick as they ask for it. You see what I mean? Because that's immediately going to be monetized. I mean, the system monetized that motherfucker way before that new corporate entity will figure out anything. You see what I mean? Like that, and that's just the real deal. So, on the state level, you have to be ready for this type of shit right here. I would think that it would be some. It would mean that surely the waves got to stop at some point, right? I don't know. I mean, the numbers that he's saying, shit. And you know, I mean, you know, that when they come with a little caravan and all of that, and you know, that should be have so many damn people. But I mean, surely at some point it got to end, right? I know. I mean, they can only bum rush you so much. I mean, ultimately they're just trying. I mean, there's certain shit what they're gonna be trying to do, man. And because it's a cat and mouse game, really. It's not. I mean, I don't know that you could stop what they. I mean, because the way that it's. I mean, they can't put up no fucking walls, dude. They can't. They don't do that shit no more. They did away with that shit a long time ago when they quit. But that was a different game. Is essentially what you need to know, because they ain't doing. They don't do that shit like that, man. No, I mean they want to devolve that shit back to that, but no, they ain't gonna build no. They ain't putting no walls, man. Motherfucker just they know how to hide better than that. So what you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know how you keep motherfucker from. You can't keep motherfucker from crossing that border, dude. You really can't. I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and play this song.
The Border Patrol.
Thank you.
We'll take a few questions. Yes. You speak up a little bit. Sure.
We don't arrest anybody for crossing the border illegally. We arrest smugglers, and there are some smugglers that we have arrested. As the governor talked about, over 16,000 IAs or illegal aliens became in contact with them. Those were referred to the Border Patrol. We did not maintain them. There's no state immigration violation. Smugglers, yes, we charged with them. Drugs, as the governor talked about, marijuana and cocaine, we made arrests on those particular things. And stash houses where we have a smuggler. And of course, he documented 3 incidents in terms of we had sexual assaults on children, underage children that were coming here illegally, and no doubt was exploited and we continue to be exploited. Those are the majority of the type of criminal violations that we came in contact with that period of time. As for the duration, it depends on what happens on the ground. As they come and Border Patrol is swamped, I mean, the governor's made it very clear that the Department of Public Safety, the National Guard is going to be there to support them, and we'll be continuing operations in that regard. The one thing that shifted from the last time that the governor had a press conference is Del Rio sector. It became the number 2 sector in Texas, and that's never happened before. We've had those types of numbers. So we got the call from not just the sector.
See that minute because it's a game, dude.
I know Representative Morales was very concerned about that area. So the governor had us increase tempo and resources within the
it'll cool out now
as well. I can say that when we do that, we move to 12-hour shifts. We make sure we cover 24/7. We bring resources outside. So hope that answers both your questions.
Let me add some additional information, because you did bring up one other topic I want to make sure you understood the answer to. You mentioned special interest arrest. I don't know if you were intending by that, but that is a term that's used that deals with people who come from countries with ties to terrorism. Is that what you were referring to? Sure. So we had
let's hear
discussions
it.
about that.
Because I'm telling you right now, the fucking terrorists. I mean, I don't want to talk bad about these guys here because I don't fucking know. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But some of the motherfuckers in y'all's damn brotherhood is the some of the bitches. What's the fucking terrorists? If you turn your light on and pull motherfucker over, and it's not an emergency, and you fuck their life up with some bullshit over some little infraction shit, you're a terrorist, man. I don't care. That's you're a terrorist. You are. You need to know that, because I mean, if I was to pull a fire alarm somewhere, that's what they call me, and send my ass down there to penitentiary. So what makes you special, dude? I don't think there's nothing that makes you special enough where you can fucking harm other people. Nothing gives you the right to do that. You do not have the right to hurt people. Nobody can grant you that right. You never have it. It's not going to ever happen. You may get away with it because whatever. I'm telling you now, I don't like hearing motherfuckers talk about terrorists and try and paint a picture on your mind like it's something that's outside of where you at. No, dude. The terrorist is fucking right there with you. And it ain't the federal government. So I don't like it when they start talking about the federal government, because I know that I'm the federal government. See what I mean? And so are you. As soon as you get you a contract, everybody with a contract with something higher than this fucking state shit right here, that's federal. You know what I mean? And that's why they may put on that show and be down there doing what you think they should be doing, and then just like right now, the motherfucker may not be there because they have a different prerogative right now. And then, hey, they don't. Do you have a contract with them? See what I'm saying? Because if you don't, and the motherfucker who's been perpetrating like if the motherfucker's been perpetrating like government, all of a sudden has decided that he's done perpetrating, and he leaves. What are you gonna do? Because the real truth is that motherfucker wasn't real. You see what I'm saying? I'm just telling you that's kind of how that's the real fucking deal, how they roll, dude. Because the federal government it's me and you, dude. The fucking word means contract. And FBI, that shit stands for fidelity, bravery, and integrity. It ain't got nothing to do with no fucking federal shit, man. They went on ahead and got him a contract, and that's when they did that. You know what I'm saying? But you know what these words mean, and you really know that the federal government they don't help nobody, because if you go fucking with mail or trying to counterfeit money or rob a bank, or you fucked up, dude. You're gonna be hurt. You're gonna get hurt. But other than that, the feds they're not coming to fuck with you, man. They're not. And I'm gonna put it down on this too, because I know that all of you y'all buy into this bullshit right here, where they try to tell you about how the federal government's the bad guy, and I'm here to tell you, and I'm gonna prove it too. Exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm gonna run this first, and I might break it into another piece. I don't know. But here we go.
The discussion was that, yes, in fact, there have been people who are called special interest arrests, people who are coming from countries with ties to terrorism. And that's one of the extreme dangers that we face. And the people who are special interest coming from terrorist countries, they're not the kind of people who are going to walk up and turn themselves over to the Border Patrol or to DPS. They're the type of people that the cartels get a whole lot of money for, to try to sneak through the gaps while the Border Patrol is occupied dealing with the children that they are dealing with. And that's exactly
or whatever it is, because they'll have a bunch of crash test dummies to get what they're trying to get done.
Trying to get into the United States across the Texas border, and the federal government has to step up and do something about it.
No, they don't. I'm telling you right now, they don't have to do shit. If you don't have a contract with them, that's our job. Somebody, listen to me, good, all right? Somebody in Texas needs to fucking hear what I'm saying and get a contract and get the guns and the people and shit and go down there and do the fucking handle the business. Because that's what federal means. I'm telling you what is in the books. You can go and find it for yourself. I've done a hell of a lot of work getting to there. I'm telling you that you have all the power that you fucking need. It's on you. There's nobody going to show up down there and help these people. If somebody that don't live down there don't fucking do like I'm saying and figure it out and go and take care of the business. Because that's what it is in America, man. If you fall asleep at the wheel and you fall, the criminals will just come right on in and take over. That's what they've done. You think I'm lying? Look around you. So, because they play just as white as you. See what I mean? That's what they gave you that shit for. so they could just, they play that white shit with you, and you're none the wiser. But they got culture. They know how to get this shit done. They passing on something. They know how to get a fee or something. They know something about how them coupons work. They know that stamp is that's the King's Impress. That shit is money. But they not sharing none of that with you. Because they want to keep you scared, and they want to get your fee. But yeah, I'm telling you, I'm solutions oriented, man, and that's what it really is. There ain't gonna be nobody gonna show up. There ain't nobody. I don't care. All of you. I mean, I don't want to piss nobody. I mean, I don't want to talk. I don't bash people. I don't want to bash y'all motherfuckers. I mean, it's bad enough that, I mean, I'm trying to convert you from that pagan shit. Trying to get you to stag up. Look at the horns on the stag. High rumen. I'm telling you too, because this goes right around with what I'm saying, where I'm going with everything. When you do your research, man, now venison is I don't know. I haven't read it or found it anywhere to verify for real, but it seems to me that venison is like the next high. The only thing high rumen than the deer is man. I'm telling you, because they call this shit venison. Everything with that V like that, it should be having that life, action. Yes, you're supposed to be having that, dude. You're supposed to be having it in your life. I mean, when you start eating that shit, what the carpophages, man, when they anything that all these animals, man, most of them motherfuckers, they're toxic to you for a reason. You know what I mean? And it may not be like toxic, like kill your ass, but immediately, but it's toxic like definitely it's doing something to you that, I mean, that's why you ain't getting them 900. Or part of it, and part of the reason why you defecating. I'm just telling you. But yeah, the venison, the buck. I mean that the stag is superior. He way above that fucking goat, man. And that sheep's down there. You know what I'm saying? They ain't told you about this. I'm trying to put you on game right now. You see what I mean? They want you to buy into that goat. Fuck that goat. He's in the gutter over there, in the sewer, swimming around with the damn grunions and Guidos. They Gothamites, man. Yeah. That's him. That's them. Gothamites. They about the goat. That's where that shit come from. Gotham. That's that fucking Goatville. I mean, and I'm telling you right now that Gothic architecture that they be that's a bullshit, man. It's fucking goatish, man. It's that goat. It's a goat. I'm telling you, that's what it is. Because I mean, when you realize that Gotham has the Gothamite, and it's all talking about the goat, you know that, hey, they're just playing. They're tricking you, man. Because really, they're playing around on that stage there. They're in the Big Apple or wherever they're at, and they're playing around on that so they're what they call the big stage there. But that shit ain't nothing, man. Because it's, I mean, like I just told you, at best it's that middle stage. You know what I mean? Because you got the sheeps down there. You got, that's gonna be down there at the bottom. And you got your goat, you know, and they perpetrate like that's the greatest of all time. But that's a damn joke, because the stag is stand up there with horns for enough to tell you that's where you're supposed to be, is up there in your godhead. See what I mean? And the stag is the stage. You see what I'm saying? That's what it is. That's what I mean. And that's what they were. That's why they. That's why it's part of the fucking stag. The heart or the core. You see what I'm saying? There's a reason for all this shit what they got going on there, and they really don't want you to know that. Yeah, I think that's one of the things that, because I mean I don't. A lot of times people want to be like, oh, well, you're not supposed to eat any meat, or you're not supposed to eat any of this. I don't think it's necessarily like that. I mean it's just you're supposed to, like I was saying, you're supposed to take in the shit that your body need to break down and to get here, there, where it need to be inside, so that you can function. And that shit really should. I forget how Webster put it, but it's kind of like it should repair the waste, is what the way he put it. Like every damn time when he was talking about it, yeah, it like you shouldn't be having no waste. You see what I mean? That's inefficient, right? I mean, it is. If you think about it, it's way inefficient. What's going on? Why would you do that? Because they're collecting that shit, man. Why do you think they do that? I mean, there's a bunch of reasons why they do it. Because they don't waste nothing. I'm running this.
When he was down on the border, and he learned that there were several individuals from special interest countries that had been arrested. I personally have arrested people from all over the globe, whether it be Poland, Russia, Bangladesh, Brazil. We deal with people that come from all over the world. The politicians want to make this an issue of Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, and Mexico, and it's just not. We get them from all over the world. And that's why it's so important that we have Texas DPS, because as the cartels continue to flood us with unaccompanied children, as they continue to flood us with family units, it takes our resources out of the field. And if it's not for the Texas DPS to plug those holes up, that the cartels are creating artificial gaps in our coverage. And if it's not for Texas DPS,
and it's intentional. I mean, they know what they're doing when they do that.
Have a lot more coming across into the United States.
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, that's what they're gonna do when they do that.
Yeah. Why don't we?
Mask off.
Yeah, take the fucking mask off. I mean, shit ain't even. What the fuck you wearing a mask for anyway?
So just tell them everything about what happened.
Now let's see if he's standing over there with his motherfucking hidden hand and shit. Don't move. Oh, no, he's put his behind his back. I'm telling you, man, that's not easy to do, what they got going there.
A little bit more brush on me, and the raft had gotten into a tree, just on the other side of a tree that had cane in it. I heard splashing and ayuda from a distressed woman. Once I have night vision on at this point, I climb into a tree and see that this woman is hanging onto a tree branch with the baby in her arm. The baby's in her arm and the water's going over the baby. So I got above her, kind of fell in, grabbed the baby, held the baby like a football, and helped the woman onto a tree branch. Positioned myself back on the tree and then walked out. I got up to the bank, and on the picture that you've seen, I start rubbing the chest of the baby because the baby wasn't moving at that point. Finally, seen that the baby started moving, started crying, and handed off the baby to a ranger, and then helped the other 5 back onto the bank.
That baby was turned over to Border Patrol Resources, but that was a family unit. That was a woman and child. Most likely, because of the age of the child, most likely that those two individuals were released into the United States.
Go ahead.
If you take the fucking mask off, we could hear you. What a damn joke. They can't hear you. They don't know what the fuck you say.
All I can tell you is that we see increasing numbers of people coming across the border.
So we have no idea what the fuck they're talking about.
By the Homeland Security Secretary Mayorkas himself, and that is, this is an unprecedented number of people coming across the border, the most in more than 20 years, and we're just getting going in the process. These numbers will continue to increase.
Well, I mean,
because the Biden
yeah,
administration has
it's gonna get hot, man. I mean, it's gonna warm up,
making it clear,
and that's what they're doing. Yeah,
they're going to allow people to come in.
that's what they're
making
doing.
it clear that we have thousands of people in locations across just the state of Texas.
There's no way these fucking this ain't no fake ass shit right here. There, these people are not standing up here telling me some bullshit. I'm telling you, I ain't dumb.
As the numbers
You can't fool me, and this
it is
motherfucker
clear
ain't trying to
that
fool
it's
me.
slowing down in the number of people coming across the border.
So to answer that question, you have to take a snapshot in time. And if you go back to Inauguration Day, yes, it was probably close to 80% of the people were in fact being expelled under Title 42. But then you had an explosion in the numbers. Numbers that were absolutely unprecedented. We've never seen these types of numbers of unaccompanied children before. And then you had the carve-outs for Title 42. And of course you started to see even more people. Axios, which generally tends to be on the liberal leaning, Axios fact-checked President Biden and said in the week that he gave his press conference, it was only about 13% that were being expelled. So again, you have to take a snapshot in time. You have to look at what are the current conditions and what are the drivers, these pull factors. And no, we're not expelling 80% of the individuals that are crossing the border today. If we're lucky, if we're expelling, or if 40% of those people that are crossing today are actually being removed. We're lucky.
And it been like that. He ain't no. I mean, he ain't. Because I mean, I'm telling you, they want them motherfuckers here. I mean, the federal government. Yes, that's probably why they work with these motherfuckers so they can make damn sure that they get in. You see what I'm saying?
So there's been no communication with the Texas government and the Mexican government. There are communications, obviously, between the federal government and the Mexican government. I don't have that information provided to me.
Right.
But I do know that the federal government and
There you go. Because yeah, they running drugs like a motherfucker. They're not gonna tell him, but because his job is supposed to be to keep him from doing that. But yeah, they run drugs like a motherfucker. Cause yeah, that's a damn shit. I mean, we can't even hear these motherfuckers. At least I don't think she has the mask on. She just. No, she's got the mask on. I lied. She got the mask on. Man, I mean, what the fuck is she telling a damn story or what? I mean,
I'll let somebody else take the second question while I answer the first question, and that is, there are well-defined organizations that are in charge of responding to each type of situation every step along the way as people come across the border illegally. The organizations in charge of providing the level of assistance that you're talking about at the local level, those organizations, those are NGOs associated with ORR, if you want a whole bunch of three-letter alphabet soup names, but you know what they are. The
I don't.
It's the ORR, the federal government, the Office of Refugee and Resettlement, that
See,
they are in charge
motherfucker's not trying to
of
deceive you,
paying
man.
for and organizing all of the non-governmental-based organizations to provide the assistance that is needed at the local level. They're the ones with the federal funding to provide that assistance, and they have the job to do it. One thing that
What
we
did I?
have seen
What's exactly
is
what
the
I'm.
Biden administration was completely unprepared for the large number of people coming across the border because they were completely unorganized with their own federal agencies. The Biden administration was unorganized with the Federal Health and Human Services, with ORR, with the NGOs that collaborate with ORR. And they are just scrambling, even having to rely upon military bases to put these children on because they were so inept in getting this organized to begin with. But that is the federal government's job, and that's one of the many things that we're saying they need to step up and start doing a job. Whether he
Wow.
wants to answer the central
Lewis.
question.
So, look, I appreciate that question. We have to have an open and honest conversation if we're going to solve the problem.
I mean, like, that'd be fucking awesome.
What we're doing is taking short little quotes and running with those. We're never going to solve this problem. I don't care whether you agree with me after we have all the facts out. The truth of the Ansel Lewis, what we call TOPS, it's a temporary processing center. Individuals are not supposed to be held there for more than 8 hours. If they're held there for any more than 8 hours, they then get transferred to one of the other facilities, most likely Donna, because that Ansel Lewis is only supposed to be for family units or unaccompanied children. They'll then get transferred to one of the facilities, most likely Donna. We don't hold people at TOPS for more than 8 hours, so that's just not true. Oh, we experience a large number of people at Ansel Lewis all the time. It just depends on how many people cross. I mean, there's literally on the trails, there's literally signs that point them to go to the actual processing center. So people that come across the border, they know exactly where to go because the signs point them there. But talking about taunting, it was Paul Perez and I. We both had the 18 senators out on the border, and we took them to known smuggling routes. And this was about 1 o'clock in the morning. When we got to one of the known smuggling routes, there were actually smugglers across the river that had higher powered spotlights than the flashlights that we gave the senators for that tour. They were in fact taunting the senators. They were telling the senators things that I can't repeat for the camera, but they were telling them where they could stick it. They were telling them that they were going to bring people no matter what we did. They were going to continue to bring people, and we've continued to see that.
2 more Russians. Sorry, 2 more.
You better believe it.
No, I can't give you any numbers right now, but yeah, clearly we're doing that with everyone we come in contact with. So we'll have some numbers later on, but they're really reflected in our investigations. Well, I'll use an example as one of the stash houses we talked about. We identified an individual that was holding 4 illegal aliens.
All right, man, I'm out on this, man. I'm gonna catch y'all on the flip side.
I'm
out.
Warrants for him.